So if you found this video, you're probably looking into the technique called mid-strolling. It's a Japanese technique. There's a lot of different similar techniques, hover strolling, moping, even the Demiki rig or tight lining. These are all kind of similar. They're techniques where you're using a small fluke style bait on a jig head, either watching your forward facing sonar or not. So there's a lot of similar techniques, but as far as the one I'm going to talk about is mid-strolling, where that's actually fishing the bait through the water column at different depths. I've been doing it for over a year. It's a great technique, especially when the water's cold, especially when there's smallmouth involved and spotted bass as well, but largemouth will definitely eat it. So I'm going to go through 5 different baits that I've used and kind of give you my thoughts on them. These are all popular baits. I'm going to start with the old regular Super Fluke Junior. That's all you need. It's original. It has a great action. You could do this with the Super Fluke Junior. But there are, in my opinion, better options. You also have the 6 Sense Juggle Minnow. So this is going to have a little bit more tail kick, which is good, especially when you're trying to entice fish, you're trying to have a little bit more natural look. You can just see the action between the two. This one's definitely going to kick a lot more. It's got that forked tail at the end. So this is a great one. I don't necessarily know that it was designed for this technique, but it works great for it. Another one, I guess these are kind of going to be in order. Number 5, number 4, we'll go number 3, the Freeloader from Crush City. Again, this is something that can be fished a lot of different ways. You could fish it on it has a slot there, so you can actually fish it on a regular Texas rig, or a weedless EWG, whatever you want to do. It's also great for a chatterbait trailer. It's also got good tail action. So this bait is great for this mid-strolling technique. Number 2, I guess these are kind of my 2 favorites, so I'm going to kind of have a co-leader here. But this is the Scented Jerk Shad from Z-Man. This is the 4-inch. They also have the 3.75, I believe. So, basically the same size. So the reason I like this is it has Elastex, so it's going to be very active, but it's also going to be buoyant. So you're going to get more tail kick and more action out of it. The other one is kind of hard to find, but this is the Drift Fry, the 4.0. 4-inch. There's also the 5.2-inch, the mellow version. This is made in Japan by Jackal. It's really cool looking. It's got almost like a crankbait bill on it, and then kind of a strange tail. It's almost like they have a split tail but didn't cut the plastic piece out of it. But the cool thing about this is it rolls like crazy. So you're going to get a lot different action than these other baits. So as you're shaking it through the water column, it has an awesome action. So now jumping over to the jig heads, there's a lot of swim bait heads. Really all you need is a ball head. These are some that I poured from Do It molds. They work just fine. You can see I poured it myself because it's even got some missing there. But I think there's a better option if you're looking for something that's going to hold plastics, especially that Drift Fry and the Z-Man Elastec. So this is the owner with the lockdown keeper. It's got that kind of backwards barb right there, and it holds Elastec perfectly. So it's a great option. I really like them. They're owner, so they're really sharp hooks. I'm going to show you how well this thing rigs up. Once you get that Elastec past that barb there, it stays there. So there you go. That's one of my favorite rigs. This is I believe that's a 1/4 ounce right there as I dropped it. But they have all your typical sizes. You got your 3/16. This is actually an 1/8 here. There's 3/8. And kind of how I go through the different sizes, they're all important. The lighter, obviously, it's going to fall slower. So you got to take that into consideration if you're trying to draw fish up to them. The heavier, obviously, it's going to sink faster. So it's going to be good for kind of triggering a reaction from the fish, but also reaching those fish that you see down deep on your graph. So a lot of people associate this with forward-facing sonar. It's great for that, but you don't have to do it. Find a good point. Somewhere that shad are, next to the river channel, around bridges, anywhere you think shad would be or you see activity. These baits will be great for this technique, mid-strolling. So this is my favorite stuff for mid-strolling. I'm sure as this technique gets more and more popular, we're going to see a lot more baits and tackle designed for this exact technique.